very good afternoon to everybody, wherever you're tuning in. This is Jarrett Smith bringing you some Fresno Athletics baseball. We are back after Memorial Day weekend. We sure hope that you had a great Memorial Day weekend, whatever it was you're doing. Athletics back at Chukchansi taking on VSA. These teams squared off 3 times last week. Once on Friday for opening day, and once with a doubleheader on Saturday, with the Athletics taking the first 2 and then VSA taking the third one. In all 3 games, it has not been close. It has been pretty big margins of victory. Athletics first game 12-0, second game 9-1, and third one was called early because of time limits, but had ended at 10-0 VSA. On the mound is Zach Geese for the Fresno Athletics, and taking a look at their fielding lineup here, we have Hayes Eden at the dish, Ethan Wood at third, Gabe Casares at second, George Smith at short, Luke Navad is at third base, and then heading on out to the outfield, Scott Mitchell is in left, Mikey Ramirez is in right, and looking at center field, that is going to be Luke Reed. And just as a reminder to you folks, just so you don't miss the start of these games, you could of course look at the Fresno Athletics social media to check in with our calendar to see what game times are, but I highly suggest that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and then also put that bell notification on so you will be notified when we start going live. And my goal is for this season to go live approximately 10 to 15 minutes before each game. That way you have some time. And we're going to get straight into it. Leadoff batter for this game and for VSA is going to be Ramos. First pitch of the game is a fastball low, and it's swung on and missed. That is strike number 1. Second pitch on the way from Geis, looked to be potentially a 2-seamer, misses outside. That is 1 ball, 1 strike. Third pitch from Geis breaks Ramos in. It's a little chopper towards third base. Navad tries to make the play. He has no play. No throw over to first. And that is going to be a leadoff dribbler single for Ramos and VSA. So Paul Martinez digs in for VSA as the second batter of this game with no outs. Past 3 games he's been leading off for VSA, but now he moves to the 2 spot. Geis comes to Martinez, brings the hard heat right down the pipe, swung on and missed. That is strike 1. Ramos getting a very conservative lead off of first base. Geis not even looking. He's firing. That is a chopper to short. George Smith flips it to Casares. Casares going over to 1. That is a 6-4-3 double play. And just like that, no runners on base for VSA and 2 outs for your Athletics. It's a great roll for 2 there for the Athletics to get traffic off the bases. That'll bring us to the third batter of the game, and that is going to be Latimer. Geis delivers off speed, gets in there for a strike. 0-1 the guy's off speed in the dirt. It fools him and he swings and misses. That is quickly 0-2 on him. The 0-2 pitch is in the dirt. Latimer is not fooled this time, and he takes ball one. One and two, goes with the same pitch again and misses. That is 2-2 now. So from 0-2 to 2-2, counts even. Guys get set. On the way with the 2-2, that is down in the dirt once more, and Latimer has worked this count full. Payoff pitch on the way for Geis. Here it is, busts him high and inside. Latimer gets some wood on that, and that is a foul ball. We'll do it again. Payoff on the way, that is up in the zone, and that is going to be ball four. So Latimer works a walk from 0-2, and once again there is a runner on base for VSA.
Number 40, Isaiah Leva.
That brings up Isaiah Leva, the cleanup batter for VSA, with a runner back on first base for VSA. Guys comes home. Leva gets a crack at it. Fouled off the catcher's mask. That'll be 0-1. Runners on the go. Throw down the second. Might beat him. No, it's hops in front of Casares. Gets away from him. Runner's going to be safe at second. Looked to be a pretty good throw from Hayes there, but just pitch is outside here. That'll be 2 balls and 1 strike to Leva. Fastball down the pipe is fouled back behind the Fresno Athletics dugout, and that will even up the count 2-2. Runner in scoring position is Latimer, and Leva looking to cash him in here. But count is even 2-2. Guys get set, looking back at Latimer. Now coming to home plate. Off speed, Leva hits it out to center field. Looks like Rhee is going to be under it. He is, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So 2 base runners on for VSA, but no runs cashed in on 1 hit and a walk. And the Athletics get out of that one and will be coming up for their first at-bats of the game. All right, we're back with the bottom of the first inning. Athletics with their first at-bats of this young ball game, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, shortstop number 14, George Smith. Smith had himself a nice double play last inning to get a base runner off base. First pitch to Smith is taken for a ball. On the mound for VSA is Giannis. 1-0 to George is blasted. A bunt stop. That is down for a base hit, and he's looking to go too, but he will hold up at first. But that is a leadoff base knock for George Smith and the A's. Very nice blast right over the shortstop. No chance for him to get it. All right, taking a look now. We got Luke Reed. First pitch to him is taken for a strike. Oh, 1-2 Reed is taken down low for ball one. Giannis goes for a pickoff over to first base, but George Smith is back easily, safe. Smith takes secondary, no steal, pitches into Reed, and that is strike two. Giannis goes for another pickoff over at first, but once again, Smith is in safely. Smith this time will go. That is a ball on the pitch, and Smith is in there easily with a swipe bag. That is a stolen base for Smith. So in just the span of a pitch, we got a runner in scoring position now for Reed. Giannis comes home to Reed. Hot pitch. He blasted out to right field. Smith is going to hold up at third on that one. Reed is at first, and now there are runners on the corners with no outs for the Athletics. That was a good piece of hitting from Reed there. Looked like it could have potentially been a ball high in the zone, but it was a bit on the outside, and he let that pitch come in on him a bit late, and he took it where it needed to go, out to right field. Found the hole. Nice piece of base hitting, and that will bring up Ethan Wood now. First pitch to Wood is blasted high into center field. Center fielder's trying to get track of it. He does, but here comes George Smith home. He will score easily, and that is your first run of this ball game. So a sacrifice fly for Ethan Wood. Cashes in. And now we got the catcher, Hayes Eden, up for the Athletics. Throw over to try and get Reed at first is unsuccessful. That is safe. That is worth noting as well. Reed did not advance on the sac fly. He is staying put at first. First pitch to Eden is strike one. Another pitch to him. Reed is on the run trying to go for another stolen base. Looked like the throw beat him, but it was dropped, and it is going to be safe for Reed at second. So Reed moves up 90 feet, now is in scoring position. Oh, he's going for another steal. The call is a ball on the pitch, and it is uncontested. Reed just swiped 180 feet in the span of two pitches. Now he's 90 feet away with 1 out. Chopper over to third. Ree is going to hold. Throw over to first. That gets Eden and does not cash in Ree. Good play by the third baseman over there to look Ree back to the bag, make sure he wasn't thinking about scoring, and that was a productive out for VSA. So that'll bring up Luke Navad now, hoping to get a second run for the A's here in the first inning. First pitch to him is swung on and missed. That is strike number 1. Navad taking his time, stepping out of the box, now digging back in the 0-1 count. 0-1 to him, swung on and missed on the same pitch. That is strike 2. Looking like it was some sort of off-speed pitches there back to back. Couldn't quite tell, but either way, it is 0-2. Third pitch on the way to him is a good take. That looked close to being strike 3, but missed just low. Leading to 1-2 now. One, 2 is up high, and the count is now even, 2-2. Two pitch rings up Navad. That is strike 3 on the outside corner, and that will finish off this inning. But the Athletics get some action going here in the bottom of the first. They cash in 1 run, and they lead this ball game going into the the top of the second. All right, we're back in the top of the second inning. Guy's back on the mound, and he is going to be taking on Ferreira to lead off this second inning. First pitch from Guy's challenges right down the pipe, and he swung on and missed. And that is 0-1. Pitch on the way, looks like it misses low, 1-1. Taking a look, Geis is out of Stanislaus State up here in the San Joaquin Valley. Pitch is low, 2-1. 2-1 on the way, swung on and missed. Foul tip into the glove. That will be 2-2. Pitch once again fouled off, staying alive, 2-2. Two again on the way. It is taken out to center field. Left center field will make that. Bounces in front of Reef for a base hit for Ferreira. So another leadoff single to start an inning for VSA, and they'll certainly be looking to capitalize on it this time as Jay Serta steps in now. First pitch to Serta is high and inside. That'll be ball one. On the way from Guy, slow and outside. Runner's going down to second on the pitch in the dirt. Throw down. Casares puts the tag on. He is out. Ferreira thought he could get a good jump on that ball in the dirt, but Eden said, no, sir, you are out. And after that base, Guys pumps in a strike. Challenges him inside with some hard heat. 2-2 now is the count. Goes with some off speed that misses outside and low. Count is now full for Serta. Half on the way from Geis, misses low with the heat. That is ball four and a walk for Serta. So just like that, base runner back on base for VSA. 1 out now and ball one to Landeros. Serta taking a very conservative lead over it. Gets his secondary. Ball is up high, 2-0. Pitch challenges him with some heat. Landero swings and misses through that one. Two one swung on and missed from Landeros. Quickly it is 2-2 to him. Runner on the go is Serta. The throw is not down in time. He is safe. However, Landeros is out. And that'll be 2 down for this inning.
Number 25, Colton Haslam.
Grounder back up the middle, fielded by Geis, and that was really nice as he throws it over to Wood. That is out number 3 of this inning. And 2 very similar innings for VSA, getting multiple base runners on, but not at the same time. But either way, they're unable to score. Score remains 1-0 as the A's come up to bat in the bottom of the second. All right, back in the bottom of the second inning with Scott Mitchell out of Metro State University coming up to lead off things here. He's had a solid start to the season at the plate, that is for darn sure. Looking to keep it going here in his first AB of this young ball game. First pitch on to him is taken for ball number 1. Might have missed high, might have missed outside. Either way, it is called a ball. Second pitch on the way is high and inside. That is 2-0. Pitch number 3 is called strike. 2-1. Looking on deck here, we have Parker Crystal. Unless I am mistaken, it will be his first AB of the season. But either way, getting back to Mitchell. Yanis is in his windup. Pitch on the way. It is down the plate and is fouled back behind the first base side, up in the second deck. 2-2 to count now to him. We got time called here on the field as it looks like Mitchell might have pulled a muscle or something. We're not too sure. Coach Wyatt is out there for a little conference with him to talk about it. Looks like we got the trainer on the field. By the way, this is worth mentioning in the meantime. We do have the 3-camera angle going now, which is awesome to see. I'm going to try my best to switch in between on plays in the infield, but there's a lot of multitasking going on here, so We shall find out, but we'll see. Anyways, getting back to this, Coach Wyatt signals to the dugout. I'm not too sure for what, but I think it's going to be for pinch hitter Julian Rodriguez, maybe. Well, he gets a helmet on, but looks like Mitchell's going to stay back in there. So this will be something worth watching here for the rest of the game. Either way, Mitchell is digging back in there. And he chases one up high and fouls it away. That'll remain 2-2. Pitch on the way to him. He strikes out looking, and that'll be the first out of this inning. So Crooked K for Mitchell brings up Parker Crystal. Crystal out of Wabash Valley College. And he is multiple way player. He does pitch and he does hit. And that was first pitch ball. He blasts one to left field, but it is going to be right at the left fielder. Boy, he gave that one a ride. It went out. It went off his bat fast and quick. But unfortunately, it was one of those loud outs that just went right to the fielder. And quickly, that'll be two down now for the Athletics. Now bring up Mikey Ramirez, who takes ball one. Ramirez out in right field today. Mikey chops one over down the third base side, but it is foul. 1-1 count to him. Gabe Casares is on deck. As the 1-1 comes to Mikey, he takes ball up high, 2-1. Mikey looks and takes strike two. That looked to be on the outside corner. The 2-2 now on the way. Catcher setting up outside. It is low and outside, and that is ball 3 for a full count. 3-2 on the way, and Mikey is rung up looking. That is 2 backwards Ks for the A's in this inning, and no base runners this time for them, but they go into the top of the third with a 1-0 lead. Back with the top of the third here. Geis's first pitch is hard down in the zone, but it is called a ball. So that's going to be 1-0 to Moffitt, who is batting in the 9-hole for VSA. He takes ball 2. That'll be 2-0 now to him. On the way is a two-seamer that is blasted back against the screen for a foul ball. 2-1 now. Guys get set. On the way now, fastball right down the pipe is blasted right above the Athletics dugout for foul ball. 2-2 now. Count even the Moffitt. Fastball right down the pipe, just gets a piece of it to survive. And we'll do it again on 2-2. Two pitch, off-speed slider gets him swinging. And that is strike number 3. That is a punch out for Geis, and that is out number 1 of the top of the third. Second K of the game for Geis, and good trend here starting now for the Athletics after back-to-back leadoff singles. Strike number 1 is in there, back to the top of the lineup to Ramos. Oh, 1 firm two-seam fastball, called strike. 0-2 quickly now to Ramos. Another two-seamer fouled back, way back out of the play. Oh-2 on the way, fastball down the pipe. No contest from Ramos. Strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts for Geis, and it is now 2 down in the inning. So Martinez now up with 2 outs. First pitch from Geis to him is a firm fastball. Must have just missed low. Ball 1. Two-seamer misses low and outside, 2-0. Challenges him down the pipe with a fastball, chopped foul. 2-1 now to Martinez. Two and one into Martinez, misses inside. 3-1 now. Guys trying to get back into this at-bat. Pitch on the way from him. Blasted by Martinez out into left center, right in front of Luke Reed. That is going to be a base hit. third one of the game for VSA. So with 2 outs, Martinez blasts one to center field for a single. He is the runner at first, bringing up Latimer. Last time up for Latimer was a walk, and he did steal a base. Pitch from Geis is blasted out to left field. It is going to drop in front of Mitchell for a base hit. So quickly on 2 pitches, it is back-to-back singles for VSA, and it is runners on first and second. So now Isaiah Leyva coming up with the opportunity to get back into this one. Geis briefly looks over at second, comes down to Leyva, 2-seamer in there, strike 1 to Leyva. It is worth noting we do have some action in the bullpen for the Athletics. Geis with a slider that misses outside, 1-1. Runner going here. Leyva hits it through the 3-4 hole. That's going to be a base hit. And that is going to be the first run for VSA. They throw over to third to try and get Latimer. He is safe. And that is a RBI single for Leyva. Latimer over to third. Runners on the corners now, and it is a tie ball game. So quickly with 3 singles in a row, VSA has got some action going. 1 run cashed in already. Runner 90 feet away from home plate. And Ferreira is up now. First pitch to him is a fastball that misses outside, ball 1. Ferreira fouls one back behind the third base dugout. 1-1 is the count. That was some interesting action there. Leyva went to steal before Geis had even thrown. But he gets in there safely. Swung on and missed from Ferreira. My apologies. I thought there was only 1 strike. It was 2, but now it's 3. So Geis gets out of a little bit of a jam there, but VSA does cash in a run, and it is now a tie ball game, 1-1, going to the bottom of the third. right, so after giving up the lead there in the top of the third inning, it is now tied with Gabe Casares leading things off for the Athletics, and he bounces one down the third base line, and the home plate umpire calls it just foul. Boy, that must have been really close. Looks like Gabe is insistent that that was not a foul ball, but that is not the call from the home plate umpire, so he'll be coming back for an 0-1 count now. Got to give him props on that one. He ran it all the way out to second base. And now he digs back in for 0-1. Pitch onto him is an off-speed. He pops it up behind home plate. Pitcher and first baseman trying to figure out who's going to get it. It is the first baseman, Landeros, and that is out number one for Casares. So, bit of a tough break there for him. Looked like he had himself a double rip down the line, but it was just foul. And on the very next pitch, he pops out for out number one of this inning. Now we're working our way back to the top of the lineup. It is George Smith. First pitch into him is called strike, and his first time up, he had a leadoff single for the Athletics. Taking a look at your comment, who is pitching? It is Geis for the Athletics, and as for VSA, it is Giannis. As that second pitch to Smith was called strike 0-2. Off speed, jams Smith, but he fights it off, fouls it into the Athletics dugout, stays alive for 0-2. Pitch on the way to Smith, off speed, blasted at the shortstop, just like last time, but this time it is catchable for him, and it is out. So 2 down now after that hard out for George Smith, and we are now at Luke Ree batting. Off speed, seemed to get away a little bit there from Giannis, but taken for a ball from taken for a ball from Ree. 1-0 to him, misses high and inside again. Ree shakes no, don't chase after that. Good call, 2-0. On the way, fastball down the middle, foul back, 2-1. Pitch up high, fouled back by Ree. 2-2 is now the count. And Ree, his first time up in the first inning, had himself a single as well, and 2 stolen bases on back-to-back pitches. Two and two on the way to him is down the middle, chopped over to short, throw over to first, beats Ree just in time, and the Athletics are down 1-2-3 in this inning. So going to the top of the fourth, they're not able to respond after VSA ties it up, so we go 1-1. All right, coming back a little bit early to you before this inning gets started. There is a pitch and change. The book on Geis is close as he goes 3 innings, gives up 5 hits, 1 run, and a couple of strikeouts. So on the mound now is Cal Noonan for the Athletics out of University of Mary, the left-hander. First pitch from Noonan is taken low and outside for a ball. 1-0 pitch to Serta, taken low in the dirt, 2-0 now to him. Serta's first time up, he walked and did steal a base. 2-0 to him, chopped back behind the screen, foul ball. Three and one, fouled back against the screen, makes it 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way from Noonan. That is fouled back once more, and we'll do it again on 3-2. Three and two, taken low and outside. That is a leadoff walk for Serta. And that'll be bringing up Landeros. All right, so first pitch to Landeros is fouled, 0-1 to him. We'll have to keep an eye over there at first base on Serta. He might be wanting to steal. Pitch gets by the catcher, and that is going to be second easily for Serta. Takes a healthy run off of second base looking for third, but I don't think he was ever going to go. Either way, that is 90 more feet for him. So on the 1-1, Serta at second. Woo, that is a hard liner into the Athletics dugout. Looks like someone almost bare hand caught it, but went off the hand. Either way, thankfully everybody's good in the dugout, and it is now 1-2. Pitch gets by the catcher again. That is a strikeout. It's going to have to throw over to first. He does get Landeros out, but Serta advances to third base on that pass ball. So there is one out now in this inning, but there is a base runner 90 feet away from scoring. I'll bring up Haslam for VSA. First pitch to him.
No.
Looked like a bit of a half swing from him, but either way, it's going to be called a strike. Pitch now outside. That is 1-1 to Haslam. Was just taking a look at that comment there. I will definitely try and make that audio quality better. Pitch low and inside, 2-1 now. Pitch swung on and missed there, 2-2. Yeah, for Oliver, anybody in the chat, just let me know what's not quite right with the sound. Is it just that the sound's kind of low? Is it choppy? What might be going on with that? But either way now, 2-2, fouled. It's going to be getting out of play there. We'll do it again. Hissing, that is quite interesting. Not good either. I will try and get to that in between the innings. Wow, very interesting right there. That pitch was swung on and looks like caught just before it hit the dirt, so that is an out. I don't know what to score of that, either a foul tip strike 3 or a pop out to the catcher. Either way, 2 out. First pitch to Moffitt is in the dirt, ball 1. One-oh pitch on the way does catch a strike zone. 1-1 now to Moffitt. Pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2 to him. Gets him low and outside, swinging. Strike number 3, and that'll do it for the inning. So Serta is stranded at third base. No runs given up in the inning, and it will remain tied going to the bottom of the 4th. All right, we're back with the bottom of the 4th, and Ethan Wood just absolutely smoked one out to right center field. It is back, 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 back. Oh my goodness, I think the center fielder just made that catch. Holy smokes. That was an absolute blast from Ethan Wood. Great run and catch by the center fielder. I mean, that blast becoming an out was just so not right. Either way, that's going to be one down in the inning. I'm telling you, folks, I think Ethan Wood is going to leave this ballpark at some point this season. Eden mashes one over the shortstop, throw off center on the run. It gets by the first baseman. That is going to be, I would imagine, an error on the play. We'll see how it's ruled. Yep, the score is going, it looks like, no, he's going to rule to hit. Never mind. That was a tough play for the shortstop to make, but it was a poor throw. But either way, it gets ruled a base hit for Eden, and there is a runner on now with one out. Yeah, during the break also, I tried to fix the audio. Don't know if that worked. Let me know. I'm going to keep trying to work at it if it's not getting resolved. Nevada chops one right in the dirt at home plate. That is foul ball and strike one to him. Last time up for Nevada was a strikeout looking to end the first inning. On the way to Nevada, challenges him with some heat, and he does swing through and miss at that. 0-2, now it's the count to him. And we'll keep an eye on Eden over there at first, and on deck is not going to be Scott Mitchell. It is worth noting in his last at bat, as Nevada pops one up to second base. That is an easy out for VSA. That is out number 2 in this inning. But anyways, Scott Mitchell, during his at-bat, seemed to have maybe pulled a muscle or something. He did finish out the at-bat, although it was a backwards K to him. So now that'll bring up Julian Rodriguez in his place. First pitch is up high to Julian, ball 1. Second pitch on the way, looked to be an off speed, just catches the high and inside corner on Rodriguez. Strike 1. 1-1 to count to him now. Pitcher briefly looked over at first, but doesn't seem like he's going to mind him at all. Pitch on the way in the dirt, bounces away from the catcher, and that is going to be second base for Eden. That was a tough one for the catcher to handle. I believe that will go down as a wild pitch, but either way, Hayes takes advantage, gets to second base. He is now in scoring position for Rodriguez on a 2-1 count. Pitch on the way to Rodriguez, fouled back against the screen. 2-2 now. Count even to Rodriguez. As Yanez comes to him. That is pitch outside, ball 3. Count is full now. Three and 2 to him. Rodriguez hits it out to left field. That is a pop-up. Oh, my gets by the shortstop. That was a little confusing, folks, but Rodriguez has himself a double. I'd want to call it an error, but the shortstop did not make contact with it. It just fell in between him, the left fielder, and the center fielder. If you ask me, that should have been the left fielder's ball all the way. That was a difficult one for the shortstop to track. But either way, run comes in to score, and that is a 2-1 lead for your Athletics now. Very confusing play there, but Athletics and Rodriguez will certainly take that. Pitch to Crystal is taken for a strike. 1-1 to him. Last time he was up, he had himself a mighty out. That thing was smoked out to left field, but unfortunately right at the left fielder. So certainly this time he'll be trying to find a gap and cash in Rodriguez. 1-1 to him is fouled back behind the first base side. That is 1-2 now. Two on the way is a slider that started out inside but could not come back in. It misses. That is 2-2 now to Cristal. Did he go? Umpire says no. That is ball 2 to him. Way to hold up on that one because that was a ball. Looked to be a slider that started out in the zone, broke out of the zone, but Cristal was able to hold up just in time to keep this count and that bat alive. Well, I got 2-2 on my score sheet, but 3-2 on the scoreboard. We'll find out who's right. Well, actually, it won't matter because you know what? Cristal gets hit, looked like on the wrist, on the hand, on the arm. Either way, that is a base for him. Looks like the VSA coach is going to contest that maybe it hit his bat. Not too sure what he's arguing about, but it's not going to amount to anything. Cristal's still at first base. Rodriguez is still at second base. So 2 down, 2 runners on base, and Mikey Ramirez is up with a great opportunity to open up this lead. Oh, Rodriguez has got a huge gap. He easily steals third. And Cristal's still second. Double steal was on there for the Athletics, and they cash in 2 for 2 on that one. I mean, that was an absurd lead off for Rodriguez. There's no way he wasn't going to be safe on that. Either way, 2 runners in scoring position now. Pitch on to Ramirez. That is low in the dirt, and that is a ball. No pitch on the way, misses. Now it is 3-0 to Mikey. So possibility for runners to juice up the bases here and put Giannis in a little bit of a pickle here. And there it is, 4-pitch walk to Mikey Ramirez. He will gladly take that. And now bases are juiced as the VSA coach is going to come on out to the mound. We'll see if we have ourselves a little pitching change here. Having a little conference on the mound. I don't think there's going to be a pitching change, but looks like Dave Casares is eager to step into that box and take advantage of bases juiced here. First pitch on to Casares, that is called strike. Oh, 1 count to Casares is taken low and outside, 1-1. Casares blasts one over the shortstop. That falls into left field. Base hit. That's going to cash 2 in the form of Rodriguez and Cristal. And Mikey Ramirez goes over to third base. That is a 2 RBI single for Casares. Fantastic timing for that to happen. He thought he had himself a double last time. Ended up popping out, but he cashes in his second at bat, and it is now 4-1 Athletics. Pitch on the way, called strike. Catcher fakes a throw over to second. Casares takes second easily, and Mikey Ramirez holds up at third. Second pitch of this at-bat to George Smith is a called ball 2-0. Looks like he's trying to keep his composure. There's a lot of not chirping necessarily, but funny stuff going on in the Athletics dugout. Either way, 2-0 on to George Smith. Called strike 1. Two-1 to Smith in the dirt. Good block by the catcher. 3-1 now to him. There is a base open for George Smith if Giannis ends up blocking him, but I'm sure they do not. Well, of course they don't want to get him on here, but either way, there is that potential with a 3-1 count here. Goodness sakes, my counts are off, folks, today. I'm sorry. Either way, full count is actually what it's going to be, the umpire signaled. All right, pitch down the pipe, and George Smith swings and misses through that one, so 2 runners do end up getting left on base, but 3 runs scored for the Athletics in the form of a Rodriguez double and a Casares 2 RBI single, and it is now a 3-1 run lead for your Athletics on 5 hits, and we'll go to the top of the 5th. On to Ramirez, that is low in the dirt, and that is a ball to Rodriguez. There's no way he wasn't going to be safe on that. All right, we're back in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch is called a strike. Quickly 0-2 now to Ramos, leadoff hitter for this inning. Oh, 2 pitch to him, weakly fouled back against the screen, but either way, he stays alive, 0-2. Pitch swung on and missed, but it gets past the catcher. That is going to be... Wow, out! That was really dang close at first base. Looks like he might have had himself a first base on a strikeout, but great throw down by the catcher, and that is out number 1 for this inning. One down with Martinez up. He swings at the first pitch and then is fouled out of play. 0-1. Looks like a potential 2-seamer. That misses low in the dirt. 1-1 now to Martinez. Another pitch in for a ball, 2-1. Noonan's 2-1 pitch catches the outside, strike 2. Two and two swung on. That is a strikeout. And quickly now, that is 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Noonan. He did that last inning, as a matter of fact. He went 3 strikeouts in a row to get out of the last inning, and he's trying to do the same thing here. First pitch from Noonan, called strike on the inside. Second pitch was low. Did he go? Ump says yes. 0-2 quickly now to Latimer. Pitch in the dirt. Latimer does not chase. That'll make it 1-2 now. Noonan's 1-2 pitch on the way. That was started outside, missed outside. 2-2 now. Two-two pitch on the way. Tries to get the outside corner. Ump does not bite on that one. That is 3-2. Good location there from Noonan, but doesn't get the call. 3-2 challenges him down the middle. Latimer sends it out to right field, and that is going to be out number 3. So quickly, 1-2-3 for VSA batters in this inning after 3 runs from the Athletics, and those A's are coming back up to bat with a 3-run lead going to the bottom of the 5th. That is called a fair ball. Luke Navad blasts it down the left field line, and he is going to cash in 2 runs of himself. And that is going to make it 7-1 Athletics. They are blowing it out right now in this inning. What a bummer that I didn't have any sound for those calls earlier in the inning. I'm sorry, folks. I'll give you as detailed of a recap as I can. I thought that was going to be a fix for the sound, but clearly I was wrong. Anyways, Athletics are making a move here in this inning, cashing in a few runs. Navad just had himself a 2 RBI double, and Julian Rodriguez is up with a 1-0 count. Second pitch to Rodriguez is a ball. No pitch to Rodriguez, taken low and outside, ball 3. No pitch in there, called strike. 3-1 now, but still a hitter's count for Rodriguez. But yeah, folks, with all that action that we just missed because of audio, I'm sorry, but I will give you a recap as soon as we get a chance here in this inning. Shortstop makes a nice play on it, throws it over to third. Navad gets himself in a rundown. Looks like he gets tagged out. Yes, he does. He is out, so Julian Rodriguez reaches first base on a fielder's choice. Navad gets run down and out. So I'll bring up Parker Cristall with just the first out of this inning for the Athletics. Rodriguez has shown a propensity to run here. We'll keep an eye on him to see if he does that as Cristall takes ball 1. Cristall blasts it through the 5-6 hole. Shortstop makes a dive at it, goes off his glove. He can't get it. Aggressive base running from Rodriguez to try and stretch it out to third, but he is going to be called out. So that was a base knock for Parker Cristall, but Rodriguez is out at third, and essentially the Athletics are in the same situation as they were with Cristall up at his at bat here. Runner at first base, only 1 out more, and that is going to bring up Mikey Ramirez. First pitch to Ramirez is blasted to the shortstop. Ground ball. He scoops it over to second base. That is out, and that will be the end of this inning. But very productive inning for the Athletics. They cash in 3 runs and balloon the lead up to 7-0 after back-to-back 3-run innings. Now, taking a recap of this inning since the audio was not working, it all started out with Luke Ree hitting what was ruled a double, but he had hit a ground ball over to third baseman. Third baseman made a nice pick, but bad throw, got past the first baseman. Ree gets to second base. Ethan Wood chopped one over to the first baseman. Ree was at third base after a stolen base. He runs home. First baseman throws it down to home to try and get Ree at the plate, but the throw was low, bounces away from the catcher, and then Ethan Wood takes second base. Ree is the first run of this inning. Then Hayes Eden hits one out to right field. It should have really just been a fly out, but right fielder had a tough time tracking that one. He dropped it, and then that got Ethan Wood over to third base. Hayes Eden to second base. And then Luke Navad with the 2 RBI double to cash in those 3 runs. So 3 rather poor plays from VSA created that inning, but good job by Athletics getting the ball in play, good hitting in general to get 3 more runs on the board, and it is 7-1 with Cal Noonan still on the mound. First pitch of the top of the 6th for Cal Noonan looked to be a 2-seam that ran away from the zone, 1-0. Noonan having himself a nice outing right now. Through 2 innings of work, he has 5 strikeouts. Off-speed pitch called strike for Noonan, 1-1. And the first batter of this inning for VSA is Isaiah Leyva, and he takes, that is strike number 2 for him, rather. We got a runaway ball here at the backstop. So that'll pause play momentarily. On deck batter goes to grab it. Leyva digs back in. We are back in action. One-two pitch swung on and missed. Nice pitch there from Noonan. That is strikeout number 6 for him. And the first out of this inning. First pitch, fastball outside, taken for ball 1. Second pitch is hit towards Casares. It is a very light liner, and he has that one handled very easily for out number 2. Quickly 2 out in this inning, and that'll bring up Jay Serta. Pitch in there looked to miss just outside, or never mind, called strike. That is most certainly a ball right there. Pitch on the way, called strike to Serta. Swung on and missed from Serta. That was some filthy off speed. So he is now at 2 strikes here, with Noonan looking for that last punch out here to end the inning. Oh, great location there for Noonan, but that is called ball. Challenge is in low in the zone. Serta pokes out that bat, fouls it off, and stays alive. Noonan curveball is called a ball. That looked like a pretty dang good pitch, but either way, that fills up the count now. Challenges him with some heat. It doesn't matter if those pitches were close in the ball. Noonan says, that's fine, I'll challenge you with some heat, and that is a strikeout. So very impressive for Cal Noonan here. First inning of work, 3 strikeouts. Second inning of work, 2 strikeouts, and this inning, 2 strikeouts. So 7 strikeouts for his outing, if he does not come back. Very impressive. Keeps it scoreless in that top half of the inning, and we will go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-1 Athletics. All right, back at you in the bottom of the 6th with Gabe Casares leading things off here. Last time he was up, he had himself a big time 2 RBI double. Actually, I think that was 2 RBI single. My apologies. Either way, he cashed in some runs. Pitch on the way to him. He bounces it. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is foul. Pitch to Casares, taken down in the dirt for a ball. Pitch on the way, blasted out in the left center gap. Who's going to get it? It is the center fielder, and that'll be out number 1 of this inning. So we bring it up to the top of the lineup for the A's. It is George Smith digging in, leadoff single to start this game, and after that a line out to short and a strikeout. Off-speed pitch down low, swung on and missed by Smith, strike 1. We have some action in the Athletics bullpen. Looked like a 2-seamer that started outside, missed outside. 1-1 now. There's some action in the VSA bullpen as well. They have a southpaw warming up down there. Looks like a couple of righties here over in the Athletics bullpen as pitcher for VSA bounces one in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, 2-1. Two-seamer with some good location, but it does miss. 3-1 for George Smith. Smith goes after that one, but fouls it back behind the screen, so the count is now full to him. Smith jam shot into right field, gets just by the second baseman and in front of the right fielder. That is going to be a bloop single for him and his second one of the day.
Now batting, number 2, Luke Reed.
So Smith parks it at first, and Luke Reed will come on up now trying to advance some runners. He had himself a single to start off this game as well with a couple of stolen bases, and then had himself a double as a part of the 3-run 5th inning. First pitch, Reed swings and misses on that one, strike one. Looked to be a low fastball and might have been out ahead of it. Smith thinking about going. Pitcher steps off. He retreats back to first base. Smith a little bit closer to the bag this time. Pitcher gives him a look. Decides to go to the plate. Misses high to Reed. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. One to Reed, foul back behind the first base side. George getting a little antsy over there. Looks like he's trying to go to second or maybe get the pitcher to balk, but either way, pitcher steps off once again. Smith retreats, and now he is back into his primary lead. Digging in a little bit. A little more conservative this time, but pitch on the way to Reed looked like an off-speed pitch that didn't quite break as much as he would have wanted to, but it does get the swing and the miss on Reed. That is a strikeout. Second out of this inning, so that'll bring up Ethan Wood. So 2 down now. We'll see if the pitcher gives any mind to George Smith over at first base, or if he's just going to try and attack Wood here for potential 3rd out of this inning. First pitch on to Wood is way outside, ball 1. Pitch is low in the dirt. Smith is not even going to think twice on whether to go. He does, and has second base quite easily. Very good jump from Smith there on a pitch that the catcher had to block and fetch in the dirt, but no chance over there at second base. So Smith now in scoring position for Ethan Wood. And he takes another ball. That is quickly 3-0 to Ethan Wood. We'll see if he has the green light. I mean, as we've seen today and some other ones, he can hit it a ton. Smith is running on the go down to third. Throw from the catcher is low. It gets by the third baseman, but not too far into left field. So Smith will hold up at third base. So calling the pitch was a strike, so that'll make it 3-1 to Wood, with Smith 90 feet away from cash in the 8th run for the A's, and Wood takes a hack at it. It is foul ball to him. Full count to Wood now. Pitcher is on his way. Wood smashes it out to left field, but it looks like left fielder's going to be under it. Looked to have maybe been about 20 feet short of the track, but either way, it is just a long out. So no run will end up coming in from that inning after Smith was able to reach third. Score remains 7-1 going to the top of the 7th. All right, coming back at you with the top of the 7th inning. New pitcher on the mound after Cal Noonan's impressive 7 strikeouts out of 10 batters through 3 innings of work. It is Mason Medina. Medina pitches locally here at Fresno City College, and he pumps in a strike. Second pitch is taken for a ball. Pitch blasted back against the screen near the bullpen. That is foul ball. 1-2 is the count now. Pinch hitter for Landeros is Rodriguez here at the plate. And he takes one out to right field above Casares in front of the right fielder. That is a base hit. So leadoff pinch hit single for Rodriguez, and VSA going to be looking to get a little bit of runs on the board here after back-to-back 3-run innings from the Athletics, excuse me. First pitch foul back against the screen, strike 1 to Haslam. Medina challenges him low inside fastball. That is a strike. Oh, 0-2 down the plate, blasted back against the screen. Stays alive, 0-2. 0-2 once again, foul back against the screen, and we'll do it again. Off speed, chopped over to third baseman Navad. He throws over to second. Did Casares catch it? Yes, he did. Very quick, smart play there from Navad to get the lead runner. So Haslam will reach on a fielder's choice, but 1 out now for VSA. First pitch pumped in, strike number 1 to another substitution here for VSA. That is going to be Goucher.
Your attention to pitching for VSA, number 0, Evan Goucher.
1-1 count to Goucher. Medina misses low and outside. Ball 2.
On, Nate. Put in the ground and go, Bob. Let's go.
2-1 pitch on the way. Another one low. Ball 3.
On, Nate. Let's go, Bubba.
Pitch is hit into right field. Is it? Yeah, it's in front of the right fielder Rodriguez. That is a base hit. Back up from center fielder, throws it over to the shortstop George Smith, and there are runners on the corners now for VSA with 1 out. Solid attempt there by Rodriguez to try and get the out. Didn't work, but good backup from Luke Ree in center field to prevent a run from scoring there. Back to the top of the lineup with Ramos. He fouls it off. 0-1 the count to him. Second pitch on the way to him looked to be a slider that just misses the zone. 1-1. Challenges him with a fastball high and inside. He fouls it back towards the bullpen. Ethan Wood gave it a look. It goes into the stands. And 1-2 count now. One and two count. And the runner's coming home here. That was very opportunistic there. Looked like catcher might have had a little bit of confusion at the plate looking for it, but Medina didn't get down in time to try and cover home, and that is going to be the second run there for VSA. So now a runner on second now. 7-2 is the score. Medina misses low and outside, and that will fill the count full. Payoff pitch is rung up, called strike 3, low and outside. Tell you what, folks, feel like I've seen that pitch call the ball a few times this game, but Athletics and Medina will certainly take it. That is a punch out looking. Two out now for Medina, facing off against Martinez. First pitch to him is down the pipe, called strike. Coach Wyatt calling out to Julian Rodriguez in right field to make a little shift to his right. Off-speed pitch hung up a bit in the zone. Martinez can't get solid wood on it. Fouls it back 0-2 quickly to him. Oh-2 pitch. Looked like that could have been off speed. That slipped out of his hand. Never had a chance. That is 1-2 now to Martinez. Challenges him down the pipe. Fouled back. Count will remain 1-2. Off-speed blasted into right field, but it is too high, not too deep. Rodriguez is under it. That is the third out of this inning, but VSA does cash one run this inning on what appeared to be a wild pitch. But either way, A's are still up 5 runs going into the bottom of the 7th. All right, coming back with the bottom of the 7th inning here. Athletics batting, and it is going to be Hayes Eden, the catcher. He pops it up to the third baseman, who makes the easy out on that one. And quickly one out here for the Athletics.
Up next, number 12, Luke Navon.
Luke Navad coming up now with one down. He had himself a 2 RBI double last time up. Big time to open up this scoring a little bit more for the Athletics. First pitch is bounced over to the right side. Pitcher gets it, scoops it up, throws it over to the first baseman easily for out number 2. Quickly 2 outs now.
Now batting, number 44, Julian Rodriguez.
Two down now. That brings up Julian Rodriguez, the substitute for Scott Mitchell. Had himself an RBI double earlier in this game. Been on base twice. Quickly down 2-0 in this count. 0-2, that is. Rodriguez gets challenged inside. That is strikeout for him, and the side is retired for the Athletics. Quickly, 1-2-3 inning, but still up 5 runs, going to the top of the 8th. Only 6 more outs for the Athletics to get before they get themselves a series win against VSA. Sorry about the delay, folks. I had to attend to the cameras we have on the base or the base path sides. Anyways, that was a long blast to the outfield, but it only results in an out for Latimer. So quickly one down now for VSA. That'll bring up Leva. One of the pitch to him called strike. New pitcher on the mound for the Fresno A's is Cooper King. That is another strike. Looks like King is throwing some good heat out there. One-two pitch to Leva. That is outside, 1-2. Leva swings at that one in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Eden's going to try and throw it over in time, but won't happen. Leva gets first base after striking out. Got to tell you, as a former baseball player, it feels disgusting to get first base after a strikeout. Of course, you'll take being on base, but it's just icky. But either way, down 5 runs, VSA will take whatever base runners they can get. So Leva's on first with 1 out. That is ball 1. Ball 1 this time to Chavez, who is in for Ferreira. Ball 2 hit to Chavez. Time is called at the plate. Chavez will dig back in. He swings out of his boots on that one. That is a strike. Say cleats rather than boots, but either way, you get the point. He tried to swing hard at that one to catch up to that speed, but was unsuccessful. 2-1 pitch on the way to him now. He chops it back behind the screen. 2-2 now. Two pitch to him. He chops it over. Navad scoops it up, throws it over to the second baseman, and that will be an out. So fielder's choice on that one. Runner still stays at first, but it's a new one. Instead of Leva, it'll be Chavez. So yeah, just to let you guys know, first and third base cameras have low battery now, unfortunately, so there's no power outlets near them. Otherwise, I'd have them on the chargers at all times. So I will go ahead and get some extra batteries for me to charge up at night so we can have that 24/7, but we certainly still have our home plate view for the remainder of this game. 1-0 count, runner goes, throw down is wide of Casares. It gets in the center field. Chavez thinks about going for 3. He thinks wiser of it, holds up, but that is a stolen base for him. So 2-0 is the count to Serta. King taking a long pause. Now he fires, challenges him with some heat. That is a strike. 1-2 now to Serta. Pitch on the way. That is a curveball that missed up way high, but Eden makes the throw down to Nevada. That is an out, caught stealing. That was a very awkward side. Looked like he got onto his shoulder. Didn't even touch the bag, but either way, throw had him beat. Nice throw by Eden, and that is a quick out to this inning. Going to the bottom of the 8th, the Athletics still up by 5. All right, back with the bottom of the 8th inning, and it'll be Parker Crystal leading it off here for the Athletics. Only 3 outs to go for victory for the Athletics, but they'd certainly like to cash in a little bit more. First pitch to Crystal, ball 1. Taking a look at his day-to-day, had a strong line out to left field. Had himself a hit by pitch, ended up cashing in a run on that and a single. 1-0 pitch on the way to him. He takes an off speed in the dirt for ball 2. Another ball to Parker. It's quickly 3-0. Once again, the age-old question I like to ask. We will see if he has the green light on this or not. Looks like he tried to check up on that swing. Does not. Oh, sweet play by the first baseman there. He tried to check his swing, dribbled it over to third baseman, made a great throw on the run, and great scoop at first base to just beat Parker. That is a ground out to third base for Parker. That brings up Mikey Ramirez with 1 out. Mikey today has struck out looking, walked, and grounded out too short as he fouls one back here behind the first base side. Pitch on the way to Mikey. He blasted out to center field. It's going to drop in between the right fielder and the center fielder. It's a base hit. He has no hesitation, goes to second, beats the throw. He is safe. And those were some fast wheels on Mikey Ramirez for that double. Nice hit to split the gap there by Mikey, and that center fielder came up throwing, trying to get him out, but no hesitation by Mikey allows him to beat that throw. So A's showing a little bit of life here later in the game, trying to get a little bit more insurance runs. First pitch to Gabe Casares is taken up high for a ball. Second pitch taken for a strike, looked like potentially a changeup. 1-1 the count now. Curveball that never really curved. 2-1. Two-one misses up high. 3-1 now to Gabe. Three-one fouled straight back against the screen. It'll be full count now to him. Gabe already has himself 2 ribbies on the day. He'd certainly like to add a third one. Gabe fouls one straight back right at me, and we'll do it again. Count full. Full count to him. Looks like he's choked up a little bit, and it won't matter because he doesn't have to swing at that one. That is ball 4. Gabe takes his base. There are runners on first and second now for the Athletics.
Now batting number 14, George Smith.
Rotating back to the top of the lineup, George Smith is back up to the plate. 2 singles for him on the day, and looks like 3 stolen bases. Certainly swiping some bags out there. He takes ball 1 for the first pitch of his at bat. Six pitches up high for ball 2. We got some comedians in the Athletics dugout, I'll tell you that much. And that is one of the reasons I love baseball and miss baseball, no doubt. So absolutely happy to be able to be around this environment for the whole summer, bringing you baseball. As George takes it inside, that looks to be 3-0 to him. Pitch is low in the dirt. 4-pitch walk for George Smith, and bases are juiced now. Be interesting to see if we get a chit-chat from the... Yes, we do. Manager is coming out for VSA. Whether the pitcher's coming out, we don't know. We shall find out momentarily. But I imagine whether we have a pitching change or not, Luke Ree is going to stay in there, as he has himself 2 hits today, a single and a double. one out with bases juiced. It is Luke Ree who pops one up in the first baseman. That is an out. So quickly, 2 outs now for the Athletics, and a bit of a bummer for sure for them, as they would have liked to try and cash in some runs with 1 out. But either way, 2 down now. Ethan Wood is digging in. First pitch to Wood, taken, strike 1. Two RBIs for Wood and a couple of flyouts. Second pitch to Wood is a fly ball out to left fielder. He'll have to make a heck of a run on it. It falls in. Hit, and that is not 1. That is not 2. But it's 3 runs. That is base clearing double for Ethan Wood, and it balloons this score up to 10-2. Boy, I tell you what, off the bat, that looked like it was just going to be a long out, but there must have been a shift going on with the left fielder, with Ethan Wood being a lefty, because he had to run a long way for that, and well, it did not pay off, because 3 runs come in to score there for the Athletics. So after all that excitement, the catcher, Hayes Eden, up to the plate. He takes first pitch strike. He chops one over to the third baseman. Has a tough time handling it. It gets by him. I think that'll be ruled a base hit. It was a tough play to make on the backhand, but either way, runners at first and second now with 2 outs for the Athletics. Luke Navad now digging in, and he is down 0-2 in the count. Fouled one back, called strike there. He would certainly like to extend this inning, as would the whole Athletics dugout. 0-2 pitch on the way to him is a hanging curveball that he hits through the 3-4 hole. That is a base hit. Here comes Ethan Wood to score. That is another run for your Athletics. That is 11-2 now. It'll be interesting to see if they get one more run, if mercy rule is in effect. But anyways, 9-run lead for your Athletics as Julian Rodriguez digs in to the batter's box. And Julian pops it up at the second baseman. That is an out. So inning is over. However, 4 runs scored for your Athletics to really pile it on VSA. That is a 9-run lead, and they are 3 outs away from having this ball game won. All right, top of the ninth inning for your Athletics, and Cooper King's going to remain on the mound here to try and finish off the job. First pitch is fouled back right up against the screen. 0-1 count now to the batter, Serta. Pitch low and inside, looks to be off speed. That'll be 1-1 now to Serta. Pitch in there, called strike 1-2 now is the count. One-two pitch on the way, gets through the catcher, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's on base. Serta takes 2-2. Count even. 2-2 pitch on the way. Paints down low in the zone. Serta's caught looking, and two outs now for the end of the game. Fooled him on that one, swing and a miss. Cooper King is rolling through this one right now. Oh, 2 pitch to him, misses outside. That'll be 1-2. One-two pitch on the way. It looked like the same pitch he threw to Serta. Batter can't believe it, but he is rung up. Those are 2 crooked Ks now for Cooper King, and he is 1 away from clinching this game. Looks like he's painting low heat at the bottom of the zone, and these batters are fooled. First pitch misses for a ball to Rodriguez. Second pitch in there, called strike 1-1 is the count. Fouled back here up against the screen. That is 1-2. One strike away from the ball game. Oh, wow. Haslam pokes that bat out. That was really interesting. He poked it out, a little emergency hack. Went pretty far off the bat, but George Smith was wise to it. He catches it, and that is your ball game. Athletics win big here, 11-2, and that was the story of this series. Every game was won big, whether it was 3 by the Athletics or the one from VSA. But your final score here is 11-2. 11 runs, 13 hits, and no errors for the Athletics. As for VSA, 2 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors, and those 3 errors were really what got the Athletics rolling here. It was tied 1-1, but then in the bottom of the 4th inning, there was just a lot of interesting things going on. Nice pick from the third baseman, but threw the ball away. That allowed the runner for the Athletics to hit the second base. Then there goes to third base, ground ball over to the first baseman, tries to throw it home, throws low, gets away from the catcher. That run scores, runner advances to second, and then a botched catch by the right fielder. I don't know what else to call it. Don't necessarily mean to be harsh, but it should have been caught. But anyways, right fielder drops the ball, and that just allows to keep the wagon rolling, and then there was a 2 RBI double after that. So back to back to back rough plays from VSA ends up with a 3-run 4th inning, and the Athletics really didn't look back from there, and it is 11-2. So there you have it, folks. That is 3-1 on the season for your Athletics. And we have 4 more games going on this week. Looking forward to it. All the game times are going to be at 9 a.m. And boy, is it going to be getting hotter and hotter and hotter this week. So we are thankful for those early start times. Anyways, Athletics meeting out in the outfield. Post-game victory pep talk with the coaches. Same with VSA over here. But thank you to VSA for playing with us. Thank you, as always, to the Colorado Rockies and Fresno Grizzlies for allowing us to play baseball at this beautiful ballpark in downtown Fresno. Thank you for tuning in to watch some Fresno Athletics baseball. And it's a work in progress. I will be making sure to try and get these broadcasts better and better. But glad that we have the 3 cameras back up now. Hopefully we can get some crisper audio going forward. But either way, thank you very much for tuning in. In the future, if you do not want to miss First Pitch, make sure to subscribe to this channel and put the notifications bell on. That way you are not going to miss out on live streams starting. I will most likely be trying to do live streams 5 to 10 minutes before First Pitch. That is the goal. Anyways, thank you very much, folks. I will see you tomorrow with a brand new series for the Athletics. Athletics win big here, 11-2, and are 3-1 on the season.